everybody. It's your pal, The Rob from 106.1 KISS FM, here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Please say hello to the man with 3 eyes, intensity, integrity, and intelligence. Let's welcome to the podcast, the wonderful Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning, Rob. Let's hope today I have one voice and not 3 voices overlaid on top of one another in an echo fashion.
Okay, listen, I have all the confidence in the world that the audio problems have been worked out. I see there are already some viewers in the room. If you guys have, if there is an audio problem, please let me know now so I can throw this thing out the window immediately.
Immediately. Like, we're not even going to give it a second shot.
I am telling you, the room is set up properly. Okay, thank you, Steve. Steve said so far so good.
So, okay, thank you, Steve. Merry Christmas. Here we go.
Yeah, saw Steve on Friday. He made once again, I think it's like the 7th year in a row, he's made the first toy donation at our 911 Gives Hope for the Holiday toy drive.
He's a rock star for you guys. That's awesome.
So let's jump into this. First of all, by the way, I want to let you hold on, give me one more second here, bud. This light is red and it should be white. So there we go.
You want me to stall? Because I have a story I can stall with.
I'm good to go, but now I want to hear your story. Steve said Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry Christmas, Steve. I know I got in trouble today. I got yelled at in the middle of my show, and I wondered if you had ever had management come in and yell at you during a show.
Okay. Honestly, I get beat up badly. Here, but it's always after the show.
My sales manager came in today screaming about how it's going to cost them money, and I told him to get the hell out of the studio.
The sales manager is not your superior, I feel like.
Not at all. Not at all. And when my GM talked to me about it, he wasn't even upset. Long story short, there's like this legendary staple bar at Penn State called the Rathskeller.
Listen, I have spent many a night at the Rathskeller.
It opened 3 days after Prohibition ended. I have a feeling that it was open during Prohibition too, but that's what they say. 3 days after Prohibition ended, the Rathskeller was open. It was my father's favorite bar. It was, I think, I don't know if he met my mother there, but they spent time there. It was the first bar he ever took me to on my 21st birthday. I hold a very special place in my heart for the Rathskeller. A company bought the building and gave the lease to somebody else. And they're getting rid of the Skeller. And it just so happens that the family, the Herlockers, have you ever heard of Herlockers dipping mustard?
I can't say I have, to be honest with you, but go ahead.
It's a big thing here. It's mostly regional, but it's a national mustard chain too. They're the family that did the buying and the giving and ruining the Skeller, and they're just getting killed today. And so I was just making jokes all day at the Herlockers' expense, saying that Saquon Barkley was actually given the Heisman, but then the Herlockers bought it and gave it to somebody else. And they own a lot of businesses in town. Okay, so that's a problem, I guess, because they I don't know. I guess I could cost us ad revenue. I kept on going.
I've got some stories I could share with you here, but I'll do that after the show on a private
line.
line.
What do you do when like a family does a thing that's newsworthy, it's notable, and everybody's upset about it, and they also happen to spend money? Do you just turn a blind eye? Like, at what point are we not journalists in any way, shape, or form? It's weird.
Listen, anytime you affect the bottom line, especially in a negative way, I start shivering a little bit.
Yeah, I'd shiver if I cared.
Yeah, I mean, good for you. Like I said, I'll swap stories with you, but I'll do it on a show on a more one-on-one basis.
Yeah, listen, when I do a show for my station that my company looks at, you can tell your stories. And when my company is not looking at your stuff at all, so I can tell my story. I feel safe.
Wait till you hear about an email I got last week. It's going to make you tear your hair out. It's insane. Let's get started with wrestling, because I was really invested in Raw last night. I took some notes because there are things I wanted to talk about. I also want to say before we get started, I am really, really excited for Thursday's show. Thursday is the Posties.
I'm excited for the Posties as well. The only one I'll just tell you, the only one I haven't decided on yet is it's the hardest for me every year because I just forget them. But it's pay-per-view of the year. I haven't settled on that yet.
No, well, I've got like 2 or 3 that I have. I've written down the nominees that I have, and some I haven't settled on. But I feel like you were saying, it's an easy year to pick yesterday, and when I made my picks after you said that, and I'm like, I don't agree with that at all.
There are like 4 or 5 categories I thought were no-brainers. I could tell you which ones I thought were no-brainers, or I could save it. But
let's save it.
Okay, I thought there were a few no-brainers out there.
There's a few for sure. But we'll say that for Thursday. I'm just going to say, I'll leave it at, I'm real excited for the posties on Thursday. I've already made most of my picks, and I feel good about them, and I'm excited. So,
Me too.
All right.
I'm more excited for our posties than I am for SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, SmackDown's on a real cold streak, I feel like. But I will say I liked Raw last night. I thought Raw was okay.
I enjoyed Raw, and Roman Reigns, I'd like to start by saying he needs to send Jason Jordan a Christmas card, because he's getting cheered, and Jason Jordan is the new donkey. He's getting it, man. He got booed out of that building.
My first few notes have to do with Jason Jordan. The first one is that Jason Jordan has inadvertently become the biggest heel in the company. Right?
He has, every time he opens his mouth, he's so whiny baby. And every time he opens his mouth, boo.
But I want to tell you something. This is okay, and they're handling it properly. Like, here's where we're at. Like, with Jason Jordan, they were trying to book him to be a big-time babyface. I believe that in my heart. And it didn't work. But the WWE called an audible, and last night he was clearly being booked as a heel. Would you agree with that?
In a weird way, yes. You know, crying, using his dad's influence.
Yeah, he's being
for this. It's heely. It's crybaby, whiny, heely.
This is the right response. Then, as long as you listen, it doesn't matter where we started from. It's the same thing with Roman Reigns that I feel like they haven't done. And I admit that they're kind of forcing the square peg into the circle hole with Reigns. Like it's getting there. Maybe it's a shield rub, but they saw that this
definitely is.
They saw that this wasn't working as a babyface with Jordan, so they quickly pivoted, and now they've got what I feel has the potential to be a great heel. And I mean that. I thought he hung last night with those guys. And as long as he's being booked as a heel, he can continue to hang. Do you agree or disagree?
He hung with them when it came time to wrestle. I don't think anyone has ever said that Jason Jordan is a bad performer in the ring. It's just everything outside of it. Like, he had a hard time on the mic, but it kind of adds into it. You know, it was okay. He was okay on the mic. His face is annoying. But yeah,
again, he
didn't seem like he didn't belong to me. It was fine. So everyone wants to see him get beat up.
Every time he's on the mic, I'm infuriated. I hate the sight of him. This is the characteristics of a great heel.
His music hits, and I was like, "Oh God, really?"
That's the way I felt about Owen Hart as a kid, and he was a great heel. I know you don't like Owen. Let's not get into that. But he is on his way to being a fantastic heel, in my opinion. I want to know what the Post to Post universe thinks about that one on the post show today, because I know it's controversial.
It'll be solidified the day, and I do believe the day will come when he suplexes Kurt Angle out of his boots.
I think they've got potential for a huge money match there, man. I really do. Every week prior to this week, I've been like, man, this Jason Jordan thing is just not working. And it's a shame, because he's a good worker. I'm sure he's a good kid. I'm sure he's put his time in, but it's just not working for the poor kid. Better luck next time, so to speak. And then this week, he comes out embracing the heel thing. And I feel like he's dollars. This is just where I'm coming from. I think you disagree, and that's totally cool with me.
I don't know if I disagree, because you have a good point. I mean, as all heel characteristics, how do I disagree with you? Why do I hate him? Because I freaking do. Because he's annoying, and he's whiny.
Dude.
And every time I see him, and he's smiling, and his face, and he's begging, and I hate him. And you're right. They're good heel characteristics.
On the post show last week or 2 weeks ago, or whenever we were talking about the new union of Sam, it was whatever episode Sami Zayn came out and was like doing his dancing in front of Shane's face. And I said that I thought it was just really douchey and just like, I didn't like it. And then on the post show, Mike was like, that's what heels are supposed to do. You're supposed to be annoyed by them. And he's right. And that's why I think that Zayn is doing a good job, although Zayn's got legit heat everywhere from what I hear. And but Jordan, I think, as long as he's being written properly, he's got what it takes to be a fantastic heel character. And I'll just wrap that part up with that. I thought he had a good match with Reigns.
I thought he had a great match with Reigns. It was good. I guess if you look at it, when Randy Orton comes out, I don't care. And I don't care when a lot of people come out for their matches. I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. And so to your point, when Jason Jordan was out there, I was like, I hope to God Samoa Joe crushes his face.
Right.
I want him to get choked out. When Roman Reigns Superman punched him out of the ring, I wanted Joe to go over there and just choke him till he died. And so that means I care. I guess you're right. I can be convinced otherwise. I can be talked out of things.
Just be optimistic about this one for me. You actually led me really well into my second point. I had a really big complaint about that segment of the show involving Joe. Again, this was a writing thing, not a Joe thing. But Joe is, and he's doing this really well. He's being the intimidating, tough, don't mess with me kind of fighter. And, Jason Jordan and Samoa Joe are being a little intimidated by him. Joe goes in the ring to beat people up. Jason Jordan gives him one lame back suplex and Joe retreats. I had a problem with that.
Right. I mean, story-wise, it makes sense, but character-wise, it's inconsistent.
Yeah, he should. I mean, you can give the guy a back suplex, but he shouldn't be running off after one.
I also thought it was inconsistent for Roman Reigns to give Jason Jordan a Superman punch out of the ring because Jason Jordan had just saved Roman Reigns' butt.
No, Jordan's a heel and Reigns is a babyface. That was the right thing, I thought.
Knock him out of his shoes.
And the proof is the crowd erupted when it happened.
47 minutes. If you had told me that the first 47 minutes of Raw was going to include 3 commercial breaks and Jason Jordan, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns, I'd have told you I'm skipping it. And it was great.
I was invested, and it got people over. And I thought that the beginning of Raw was excellent for that reason. And it was at the top of the show, so I was like, all right, I'm doing good. We moved on, including Jason Jordan. There is no one, in my opinion, worse on the mic on the main roster than Paige. I think she's lousy. I don't know what it is, but I cannot stand her, and not in the typical heel way. I know she happens to be a heel right now, but I think she's just the drizzling craps when it comes to talking on the mic. I don't
agree.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
I just don't agree with that. I mean, you could point to way worse than her. Do we need to talk about Titus Brand for a minute here and him on the mic? They just don't give him a mic, so you don't realize it. I don't mind it. It's an interesting way to go about it because she's not cutting a promo with any sort of energy. She comes out all kind of like, laissez-faire and laid back.
Super annoying.
It's working for now. But we're going to be overexposed to Paige and what are they called? The abortions? What is it?
Yeah, they're the abortions. That's what it was, Jim.
Okay, yeah. So Paige and the abortions come out.
The absolution.
Okay, got it. The abortions. They come out, and it was like, so Paige and the abortions. That sounds like a band.
It does. It sounds like an 80s like chick punk band.
And I'm okay with it. I was fine with it, and they beat up Foxy, and okay, whatever. That was the second time with Asuka. Like, I don't know what they're doing with Asuka. Like, are they just attacking every woman they see?
Yeah.
If so, then why won't they go after Nia Jax? Because they're not so stupid.
Well, I think let's let this one play out a little bit. I'm actually into the angle. When those 3 are on TV, I'm paying attention. I think I have these 3 names memorized. We got Paige, you've got Mandy Rose, and is it Sonya Deville?
Sure.
I think I've got those three down. And
hold on, you're right, because I keep calling the one Cruella Deville.
Okay, and then I think you've got on SmackDown, you've got Ruby Riott
with two T's.
You've got Liv Morgan.
She's the blonde one with Liv across her boobs.
And Sarah
Logan.
I was gonna say Bridges, but I think that's her real last name. By the way, I think she has roots here in Evansville. She was Crazy Mary on the Independents, and I realized I don't want to say I know her, but I'm a little familiar with Crazy Mary Dobson, and I was excited to find out that was her. But then I was kind of crapping all over her last week. I hope that she kind of steps things up a little bit, especially on the mic. But she's the one I was saying I'm not supposed to think is hot, but kind of do.
I thought the most interesting thing that any of the women did at all on Raw last night was when I realized that Nia Jax is going to get into an angle where she's trying to bang Enzo.
Wait a minute. What did I miss?
You missed that?
Hold on. I was paying attention. So, all right, help me out here.
Enzo and the Zoe train are cutting a promo before the four-way match for the cruiserweights.
Wow. I didn't doze, but
they're cutting a promo in the back, and he's lighting them all up, and you better win, and you got to win, and blah, blah, blah. And then they walk away, and he turns around, and Nia Jax is like standing there, just like face to face with him, looking at him like she's doting. Like it's not an intimidating look. Like she's like into him, and she goes, "How you doing?" And he's like, "Oh."
Missed this completely. I missed this completely. I don't know how that happened. I really thought
Nia Jax and Enzo are going to bang on the show, and I can't wait.
Oh, wow. I missed that. Thank you for bringing me up to speed on that one.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to say to kind of put a bow on, as Conor would say, put a bow on the women's stuff we've been talking about. While I don't like Paige on the mic, I like the group as a whole, and I like their impact on the women's division. So I'm not opposed to them. I'm even not opposed to Paige. I just hate when they give her a mic. Hate it. Not in a good way.
I don't think she's the Dreslers. I just don't think she is.
I do. That's okay, but that's cool that we disagree. No problem with that.
Sure.
Can
we talk about the big thing?
What's the big thing?
Well, I thought it was the big thing. Can we talk about the most ridiculous thing? Let me frame it that way.
Okay, is it maybe do you know what I titled the video?
No, what'd you title it? Did you title it Woken?
Yeah, well, it's Matt Hardy becomes broken and woken on WWE Raw.
I guess he's not allowed to say broken, maybe. And so
my understanding is he is. They're just going with woken.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Great.
Please I have thoughts on this for sure.
So, what have we talked about before? My wife chooses the worst times.
Always, it never fails, dude.
Never fails. She comes down. She was upstairs. I'm watching wrestling. I'm having the best time. This starts happening, and it's like the cut back and forth with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. And she walks in the room and sits down, and she's like, "This is ridiculous." I was like, "Shut up! You missed the whole. There was a lot of good stuff." She's like, "This makes no sense. Is this the guy that turned into the witch?" And I was like, "Just please stop." And then all of a sudden they start laughing at each other. It's like, ha ha ha. And then Matt Hardy's like, ha 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 ha. And she's just, I have no leg to stand on. She's like, "This is ridiculous. I can't, we're not watching this." I was like, "You got to go to another room. I'm invested in this. I want to watch this."
So
I said, Matt Hardy's broken, but now he's woken. And Bray Wyatt is the eater of worlds. And she's like, they're just cutting back and forth to them, laughing at each other. And I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have if I hadn't been surrounded by someone that wants to hate on wrestling. Because I didn't have any defense. How do you defend that?
I had
somebody that doesn't watch wrestling.
Hold that thought real quick, because I had a moment like that with Brittany last night. Not that it was stupid, but like from the wrestling is real standpoint. So Brittany was in there for the cruiserweight match, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
But they're coming out of a replay, and they show the replay of the the Tower of Doom spot where they do the 4-man suplex off the ropes.
Right, you got to do that once a week.
I hate that spot so much because it's so overused. If you did it once in a while, it makes such an impact. But because you do it every week, I hate it. Nevertheless, they come out of that, and I'm kind of just, I don't say anything. I'm just like, oh God, like this is what we're at now. And then there's that one that I can't remember who did it to who, but that spectacular backflip springboard off the rope move towards the end.
Loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's visually spectacular, but she just kind of looks at me and I look at her and I'm like, and people think this stuff is fake. That was kind of my moment there. So my thought on the Woken thing is I'm glad that it's happening and I'm glad that they're hitting the ground running with it. But my overall thought was, this is what everyone's been talking about. This is what we've been waiting for. Like, this is what it is.
It's like a campy movie. It's like a cult classic campy D film. You know what I mean? And we'll see if it works. I'm entertained by it so far.
I'm curious and optimistic. I'm going to be open-minded about this because a lot of wrestling fans that I have respect for say this broken thing is the best thing since sliced bread. And I know that it's going to take more than a week to convince some people. And I'm not resisting. I'm just saying I saw nothing special out of it last night. My opinion. And listen, I was wrong about Kevin Owens. I was wrong about Samoa Joe. They both have convinced me that my initial reaction to those wrestlers was incorrect.
You were also wrong about Stephanie McMahon, but that's okay. We won't go there today. But you were right. You were right about Finn Bálor.
I think so too. And I'll even kind of claim Nakamura.
Yeah.
Just being honest with you. So.
Sorry. It seems like Nakamura and Finn Bálor and Sami Zayn are 3 NXT champions that just can't seem to get it going.
I'm not saying the boat's out on Zayn yet, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, feel free to lay into us on this one because it sounds like we're on the same page. Yeah, even Steve said he weighed in and said that the broken thing is stupid. I
don't think it's stupid yet. I don't want to say it's stupid yet.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I want it to be stupid. I heard it's supposed to be stupid. I just don't see. Here's what I really feel about it. I think that when you do stupid comedy, you have to commit to it. You have to just go all in ridiculous and for it to work or even have a chance of working. And I see Vince McMahon pulling the plug on this before it's time and just saying, no, done. I think Vince has given him a chance with it, but it's not his idea. It's not his baby. I think that Vince will call it quits on Woken before it ever really gets moving. That's my opinion.
I'm going to say I see your point, and if certainly the ingredients are there for a Vince McMahon plug pulling, but I'm going to say they stick this one out at least a little bit. I mean, I think their deals were only 1 year, so I think that they're only around till WrestleMania, and Jeff's not going to be here for most of that anyway. So it's kind of just even if it flops, which it probably won't flop. I mean, it's over. You could hear the crowd was into it. I'm just saying for me personally, it wasn't yet. And so it's kind of like only a small risk. Even if Matt Hardy flops throughout the remainder of his contract, it's a small risk, especially with Jeff being gone. I
like that they put him with Bray Wyatt. I think that's going to be good for both of them.
Yeah, I thought about that too. What else did I have? Oh, what else was funny right before this was you had Finn Bálor, who we just talked about. He was in a match with Bo Dallas. And it's so funny because I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but my understanding is from the dirt sheets, the rumor and innuendo had that this is going to be the time they were going to be ramping up Finn Bálor to face Brock at the Royal Rumble. And they about faced on that and said that Finn isn't over enough, which I actually agree with.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing Bálor and Brock at Royal Rumble, I agree that he's not over enough for that spot right now.
But don't you think that putting him against Brock would get him over? I mean, that's really what happened with Joe.
Well, I don't know about that one, to be honest with you. You might be right, you might be wrong, but they're trying to keep Brock really strong through the Rumble so that Reigns can end it there. And I think that if your goal is to keep Brock strong, you go one direction. If your goal is to get Finn over, you go a different direction. They obviously are going with the keeping Brock strong direction.
Okay.
So, and that's also why AJ got the strap from Mahal.
And if I'm wrong, correct me, but I don't think Raw has another pay-per-view before the Royal Rumble.
No, their next exclusive pay-per-view, I think, is between the Rumble and Mania, I think.
Yeah, SmackDown has one on December 17th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Night of Champions, and then we won't be around for that.
Yeah, we will. I think we will.
I won't be doing it. I thought you were on vacation. I didn't think we were doing shows then.
Well, I will be. I'll be out the week before that pay-per-view, so we won't have predictions, but I can do a recap. I
will be in New York City that Monday after, so so we won't be.
Okay, we'll figure things out.
After the posties, we're off till January.
Or you know what? Maybe we'll figure it out. I'll make it happen.
I want to do the posties today.
I wanted to do the posties today too, but let's hold off till Thursday. We've been selling it as Thursday. We'll do it as Thursday.
Happy birthday, Aurelian Smith.
Who?
Jake Roberts.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, let's. What else do I have? The only other note I had was that I thought it was interesting that Ambrose and Rollins. You're smiling at something.
No, your face. You're cute today.
This is awful. I'm not even lit well. I can't. I hate keeping the camera on me. I keep it on you.
No, it's good.
Well, thanks. I noted that Ambrose and Rollins came out to individual entrances, which they haven't done in a while, wondering if that means, I mean, they did have Shield segments in the back, wondering if that means that maybe the plug is starting to be pulled on Shield.
I thought for sure we were going to see Shield at Mania. I think that's a mistake not to.
I told you we wouldn't.
I'm still not taking your bet.
What do you mean? You agree with me or you don't?
I don't agree with you. I mean, I would take your bet, is what I should say, is that I think it's going to go through Mania. I do.
Happy birthday. Rowan Alexander or whatever. Grizzly Smith.
Grizzly Smith was his dad.
Yeah. What, did you just listen to Bruce and Conrad's podcast?
No, I'm excited to, though.
I just started it. I'm like 5 minutes in. I'm very early into it. But all right, well, then listen, let's wrap things up. Here's the schedule. Maybe the schedule for the rest of the freaking year is that tomorrow we'll do SmackDown.
Sure. Oh, God. I only watch it because I love you. You know that, right?
Yeah, and I do it because I love talking about it.
Okay.
We'll do SmackDown tomorrow. And then Thursday, which may be the final episode for Valeri in 2017, will be the Posties. And we're real excited about that episode.
And tomorrow we can go over, if there's time, we can go over the categories, not giving anything away.
Okay, sure.
We can, because we added a category. I don't know if we're taking any categories out or what you wanted to do there.
Hey, I had a question about that category too.
Sure.
The one we're adding is, well, we can talk about it tomorrow. I gotta get out of here.
Better luck NXT time.
Just okay. In a sentence, tell me what that category means.
Someone that came to the main roster from NXT
this year
that just didn't work out.
So
we'll have to define that better, because I could say this year, but usually it takes about a year and a half to 2 years before you realize that they just were turds.
That's my question. So are we limited to they debuted, we'll say, since last December, because that's when we did our last posties? Or is it just someone who's been called up at some point?
I wouldn't mind doing it if someone called up at some point, but if you wanted to make it a year thing, I'm okay with it.
Okay, we'll do answer however you want to.
Sure.
All right, then. We'll wrap things up then on that note, Jerry, unless you have anything else that you want to mention.
I just care about you.
I care. I care about you too, buddy. Merry Christmas.
I'm feeling the Christmas spirit today, that's all.
Well, listen, we got 2 more barn burner of episodes for you. Well, who knows what tomorrow will bring. But Thursday...
I might not even have a job because I've been making fun of some dumb mustard company all day. We'll see what happens.
Oh, you're going to be fine, aren't you? Are you worried? Like, is it something to be worried about?
No, not at all. Maybe tomorrow when I start blasting them again.
Sayonara, everybody.
Hey.
Screw, what's the name of the company? What's their mustard?
Well, I'm not falling for that one today.
Oh, well, I forget their name, but screw you guys. Long live the Rathskeller.
It rhymes with Herlockers.
Abortions.